What up, WeHo? This month, West Hollywood celebrates both Mother's Day and May 4th, as in, may the 4th be with you. And in honor of the occasion, I'd just like to say, we miss you, Carrie Fisher. Welcome to WeHoTV News. May the force be with you, West Hollywood. I'm Mike Siriaco, and I'm bringing you everything you need to know about WeHo, courtesy of the city of West Hollywood. If you spent the past month compulsively rewatching the newest Star Wars trailer, like I did, you may have missed out on some important news. Don't sweat it, because we're going to catch you up to speed with the WeHo Wind-Up, which, in honor of National Poetry Month, will be told in rhyme. Let's put 30 seconds on the clock. WeHo Read celebrated poetry's power with Richard Blanco and Kim Dower. Tax Day left everyone feeling the squeeze, except for the 1% tax-dodging sleaze. West Hollywood Kids Fair provided games and prizes for children of all ages and sizes. Time to bust out that giant space whale, because Birdie Man tickets went on sale. And the fantasy nerves of WeHo are raring to go with the return of Game of Thrones to HBO. Hey Daenerys, you may be the mother of dragons, but WeHo's the mother of drag queens. Now let's Sansa Shantae into these news briefs. April is National Poetry Month, and West Hollywood celebrated with banner displays, poetry readings, and events hosted by the city's poet laureate, Charles Flowers. Now, besides Charles, another one of my favorite poets is Dr. Seuss, whose works are ideal for WeHo's gym buddies. He was known for endorsing a high-protein diet. The city of West Hollywood hosted Springfest at West Hollywood Park, which included family-friendly games, prizes, and music. Oh, and it shouldn't be confused with this Springfest. Your kids may be disappointed. The Women in Film Speaker Series hosted a panel discussion about using crowdfunding to finance cinematic projects. It's much more effective than the alternative.
Money, please! Money, please.
The Baroque Orchestra, Contrapunctus, made its West Hollywood concert debut with Il Barocco, the Italian influence in 2 parts. This is perfect for me because, up until now, my only exposure to Italian music was this. Now I'm starting to think that doesn't count at all. From April through May, the city of West Hollywood celebrates its canine companions with 2 dog-themed events, Pawsapalooza and World Dog Day. In fact, we have one of the participants, Lisa Vanderpump's Pomeranian Jiggy, on the phone. Hey Jiggy, juggling multiple restaurants and World Dog Day every year can be a lot of work. How was it this year?
Rough.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, but all your hard work paid off. You deserve a reward. Go fetch these news briefs.
Meanwhile, in the city of West Hollywood, the good citizens of WeHo and people around the globe all celebrate May 1st, also known as Batman Day.
I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman.
And I'm Robin, the boy wonder. In the 1940s, DC Comics added me as Batman's plucky tween sidekick.
But a vile villain named Frederick Wortham wrote a book called Seduction of the Innocent, which not only accused me and Robin of being gay, but that our gayness was corrupting American youth.
Suffering pseudo-psychology, Batman.
Fear not, Robin. DC Comics silenced this fiendish foe.
By standing up to Wortham's blatant homophobia, right?
No, by giving us girlfriends. Our female counterparts, Batwoman and Batgirl, were introduced to serve as our heteronormative love interests. But they were characterized as useless. We had to rescue them in every issue.
I'll take it from here, boys. These ladies didn't last long. In the 1960s, a new Batgirl was created. Barbara Gordon. Barbara was created for the campy Batman TV series in the 1960s, which was notable for casting queer actors such as Victor Bono and Cesar Romero. As for Batwoman, she wouldn't get a reboot until...
I can speak for myself. Thank you, boys. Over the decades, as the LGBT community became more publicly embraced, DC introduced more queer characters. Like me, Kate Kane, the contemporary Batwoman. And while the original recipe Batwoman was basically a super Stepford wife, I'm an out and proud lesbian. In fact, the openly lesbian actress Ruby Rose played me in the CW miniseries Elseworlds. And I was one of the queer heroes depicted in Love is Love, an LGBT comic book anthology whose proceeds go directly to the survivors and families of victims of the Orlando Pulse nightclub shooting. So no, Frederick Wortham, we aren't corrupting the youth of America. We're doing our best to save them.
Tune in next time to find out what happens on WeHoTV News.
Oh, did you hear? Disney's making a live-action Little Mermaid with Harvey Fierstein and Lea Michele. Personally, I think Lea's gonna make a great Flotsam. Just kidding. She doesn't have the range. We go now to Nicatelli.
It's the cookie match of the century. I'm Nicatelli for WeHoTV News, and we're here at the Teen Center for the Teen Kitchen Cook-Off, and it's gonna be hot. I mean, now, how are you gonna win over the judges here?
What do you like?
Well, what do I like? I mean, I like $20 bills. I mean, are we being serious here? Beautifully shaped there. Look at that. Look at that art technique there. I'm not gonna lie, I was over at the other team. Like, I don't want to like tell on them or something, but I guess you guys should know because I'm in the news. But now they're copying like gourmet McDonald's organic.
Oh, they're not gonna win.
I'm kind of worried about you guys, okay? Because over there, they're copying like Astro Burger and Wendy's. You guys are copying McDonald's. We're saying they're organic, but they're clearly, now I find out that they're not organic. No one is scared of a lawsuit here.
You got a burger.
Okay.
It's like an appetizer and it has meat, cheese, and some Thousand Island.
Okay.
And we put butter on the top of the bread.
Okay.
And then we put a little bit of sugar.
Okay.
And the smiley face is just to keep you guys remember to smile every day.
Okay. Okay. Juicy. Okay. Oh, yeah. That's good.
Inside this one, inside the meat, we put extra cheese, and then we just put a little lettuce on top to make it a little more healthy.
First thoughts looking at it, what do you think?
Incredible.
Okay.
Loving the plating.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I like this. It's kind of a reverse. The toppings are on top and not in the middle of it. I like that. Okay, that's good too. That's a good one too. Okay. Yeah, so you guys know something?
I really like that. Mine was too nice.
Well, yeah, because I was, yeah. I mean, the smiley face, yeah.
Both teams were amazing, but the winner's the blue team.
Blue team's the winner! I'm Nicatelli for WeHoTV News. It's the Teen Kitchen Cook-Off. Have a good one, right, guys? Good job all around.
Thanks, Nick. While you're in the kitchen, you better whip up some brunch for your mama because WeHo is celebrating Mother's Day. So we'd like to shine a spotlight on some of these incredible women with our Salute to Lesbian Mothers. Number 1, Sarah Gilbert. Best known to 90s kids as the sarcastic daughter Darlene on Roseanne, the out and proud Sarah Gilbert is a mother of 3. She now parlays her maternal experience as the new family matriarch in the spin-off series, The Connors. Like when she's discussing the birds and the bees with her children.
Hey, Mark, I'm about to talk to your sister about sex. You want to listen in? Okay, he can't hear anything.
Wow, that show is a lot more watchable without, you know who. Number 2, Cynthia Nixon. The actress who portrayed single working mom Miranda Hobbs in Sex and the City is a mother of 3 in real life, the oldest of whom recently came out as transgender. During her 2018 gubernatorial campaign, Nixon also stood up for the children of her fellow New York residents by fighting for public education funding. This isn't too surprising. She always was the smart one of her group. Number 3, Wanda Sykes. A longtime activist for marriage equality, comedian Wanda Sykes became a mother in 2009 when her partner gave birth to twins. Unlike the other mothers on this listicle, when it comes to parenthood, Sykes deals with both sexual orientation and race.
What if we have a little girl, a little biracial girl? I'm like, I can't leave that girl's hair up to this white lady.
Oh, Wanda, you're a funny mother. You're a funny mother. caught myself there. And to all the moms of every orientation here in WeHo and around the world, we wish you a happy Mother's Day. Mwah! Now let's shift gears from lesbian moms to transliterati. Take it away, Asher Rodriguez!
Society tends to place us into two distinct categories, boy or girl. But tonight's WeHo Reads featured author, Jacob Tobia, reminds us that life, like gender, is limitless. I'm Asher Rodriguez, and this is WeHoTV News. Hosted by the One Archives Foundation and Book Soup, tonight's WeHo Reads program spotlights Jacob Tobia in conversation with Jesse Tyler Ferguson for a frank and poignant conversation about Tobia's memoir, Sissy, a coming-of-gender story.
And the whole point of this book, the whole point of this project is that feminine people, and especially like male-assigned, feminine boys, should not have to be ashamed of anything about their gender. None of us should have to be ashamed of our gender. And so I thought that by naming the book Sissy, it's a reclamation of a term that was an attempt to take my gender from me.
The importance of Tobia's memoir was highlighted by Jesse Tyler Ferguson.
I continue to be inspired by you. I continue to learn from you. I really thank you so much for this book. I will reference it often. I have a lot of it underlined and highlighted, and it's going to be going out to a lot of my friends.
The gender labels that society places on us can be destructive, whether we're aware of it or not. Can anyone experience gender-based trauma?
As people, so much kind of like emotional archaeology to do. You know, we have a lot to unearth and a lot to dig up, and a lot to really think through about what did happen to my gender as a child. When was I told that like boys don't cry? When was I told that pink was for girls? When did I get that message, and who was I before that message was given to me?
For more information about Sissy or WeHo Reads, visit WeHo.org. Reporting from the City of West Hollywood's Council Chambers, I'm Asher Rodriguez for WeHoTV News.
Thanks, Asher. And for more on WeHo Reads this month, we now go to Eddie Robinson.
Rhythmic verse full of expression and style, all in an evening at the West Hollywood City Council Chambers. I'm Eddie Robinson, and this is WeHoTV News. April is National Poetry Month, and the City of West Hollywood recently celebrated at the West Hollywood City Council Chambers with a conversation between the authors of two new poetry collections, inaugural poet for Barack Obama, Richard Blanco's How to Love a Country, and former West Hollywood City Poet Laureate Kim Dower's Sunbathing on Tyrone Power's Grave.
These poems were written over a 3-year period of time, and I found a note in a notebook that I had written years ago that said Sunbathing on Tyrone Power's Grave, because I used to do that when I first moved here from New York. And I thought that is a great title for a book of poems. And so the poems I was writing had a lot to do with people I loved that I was losing, but that were always going to be alive in my heart.
It's called How to Love a Country, which is both a question and a how-to book and a statement. And it really stems from my tenure as presidential inaugural poet and writing a kind of poetry that sort of made me think about the civic role of poetry and the poet in our country. So a lot of poems that deal with very contemporary and also historical, social-political issues in our country that have always sort of been part of the story we're still trying to work out in our democracy.
National Poetry Month began in 1996, and it's now the largest literary celebration in the world. What can poetry do for a community?
It can bring a community together. We all want a poem if someone dies or gets married or a baby is born or we fall in love. In the most emotional times in our lives, we reach for a poem.
Future inspiring events sponsored by the City of West Hollywood can be found by visiting WeHo.org. For WeHoTV News, I'm Eddie Robinson. Mike, back to you.
Thanks, Eddie. Continuing our coverage of National Poetry Month, we met up with the City of West Hollywood's Poet Laureate, Charles Flowers, for this month's Mic Drop. Did you know the City of West Hollywood has its own Poet Laureate? Charles Flowers, who began his term as the city's Poet Laureate in 2018, is one of the many literary artists honored with a National Poetry Month street sign banner display. So we met up with Charles to discuss his work, his upcoming event, Lingua Franca, and West Hollywood's Poet Laureate program.
The Poet Laureate program started in 2015. And it's a public service, basically, to try to promote poetry within the city, but it's rare for cities to have it. And I think it's a testimony to how much West Hollywood invests in the arts, not just literary arts, but all the arts.
He's also curating Lingua Franca, a celebration of international poetry read by poets from Belgium, India, Iran, and other countries.
I started thinking about all the different languages that are spoken in LA County and in West Hollywood, and like, can we create a common language? And I think poetry offers that.
Charles is not only responsible for introducing poets to his fellow WeHoans, but for also creating his own works, such as Lingua Franca, a poem he wrote for the eponymous event.
35 years ago, an unlikely alliance of seniors, LGBT activists, Russian immigrants, and housing advocates came together to form a more perfect and fabulous union. With a dream of unity, our city was born. 37,255 souls find sanctuary within our irregular borders. Yet shared language makes all things possible.
And sharing language is more effective in the city of West Hollywood, thanks to artists like Charles Flowers. We'll be back next month with more news, noise, and nonsense. Till then, keep it cute, WeHo.